Hello and welcome to March to the Pod presented by Eternal Roofing. This is season 3, episode 30, Ben. We're heading up there this season. That means the academic year is about over.
When is episode 100 in total? I feel like we're getting close to that too.
Oh, man, I'd have to look, to be honest with you. That's something I need to do not right now. We're talking law tech drama, baseball frustration, softball's response after getting swept at WKU. I'm Cory Hogue, your host, producer, once banned catfans.com member, and permanently banned from X Twitter. Find me on Facebook and other social media channels, not named Twitter, at Cory Hogue Sports, CoryHogue Sports. As always, I'm joined by the real ball knower of this podcast, the man behind Sports of SHSU on Twitter and Instagram, and proud Bearkat himself, Ben Sorrells. And we have a busy day to get into. A lot to talk about right now. And if you hear any thunder in the background, well, Mother Nature's having some fun across here as well. But none of it right now is severe. That's always nice to hear. Anyway, Let's get back to Sam Houston. We're going across the farm to start today, and we're going to talk about track and field. And let me tell you, Mr. Ben, this track team showed out at the 44 Farms Team Invitational hosted by Texas A&M, starting with the women's 800-meter freshman. Brooke Cerny was 7th with a season best 2:19. Senior Lauren Johansson finished 11th with a 2:23. Maddie Watson was 13th with a 2:24 personal best. Women's 1,500 meters. Senior Ellie Gallen first with a 4:33. That was her personal best. Freshman Sophia Phillip third with a 4:37. That was her professional best. And senior Amy Clark turned in a season best 4:46. That was good enough for 9th. Wow, man, are you talking about distance, cross country? This team is really picking up here. Freshman Bailey Cheshire, 11th with a time of 4:48.52, just ahead of freshman Avery Brown, who finished 12th, 4:48.57. They had a sprint. I've seen this. I've done it when I was younger in track. You have a sprint with a teammate, and it's all you want to do to just beat your teammate, and it ended up being 0.05 seconds separate them. That's crazy, Ben.
Yeah. As small some margin as you could possibly have.
That's pretty much. I mean, they crossed. That's got to be – that's not hand-timed. Can't be, right? Women's 3,000-meter steeplechase, another freshman, Alicia, or however you want to say it, Galvez is finished 3rd with a time of 11 minutes and 52 seconds. Then we get to the field events. The women were also really good there. Sophomore Nia Thompson finished 6th with a jump of 19 feet, 3.5 inches, or for you non-Americans, 5.88 meters. I want to do American measurements now, so I'm gonna. Sophomore Tanaya Coleman will finish 14th with an 18-foot 5 3/4 inch jump, or 5.63 meters. Women's shot put, freshman Madeline Eckers, 11th with a distance of 44, 5 1/4, or 13.54 meters. That was a personal best for her as well. Women's triple jump. Here's another freshman, Jatoria Barnes, 8th. 39 feet, 8 3/4 inches, 12.11 meters. Even in the women's hammer throw, senior Capuolani Magnani, 10th, with a throw of 163 feet, 4 inches, or 49.78 meters. That's only the women's results, and that's already pretty impressive.
And a lot of freshmen, too.
Yes.
That's the trend.
Yeah, when I was looking at that, I was like, man, especially the women's side. There's a few less on the men's side, but that women's team is young, and they're talented, man. That was a good field they were up against.
Yeah, at Texas A&M, really good field, and be interesting this offseason to see how many they hold on to with the circumstances around the program. But you've got a really good nucleus and a really good core there with the freshman group you mentioned.
Is it easy? Sometimes the promise and the knowing that it is coming will be enough to keep a lot of kids. Is it one of those things where they're like, okay, I've been hearing it for too long now. When are you actually going to do it?
For the upperclassmen, probably. For the freshmen, hopefully they hold on to that hope.
We hope so. On the men's side, 100 meters. In the 100-meter dash, sophomore Xavier Parker, we've talked about him a lot, finished third, 10.22 in that 100-meter dash. Junior Omarion Ferguson, seventh with a 10.28. Senior Javian Johnson, 11th, 10.34. Senior Tyreek Brunn, 15th with a 10.38. And you want to remember those sprinters here coming up when we get to the relay races. Senior Tyreek Brunn finished 15th. I think I said that, 10.38. Men's 200 meters, Tyreek Brunn again, 15th with a 21.15. Then we get into some of this distance, some really good distance team at Sam Houston. 800-meter dash, Junior Jabari Mitchell finished third with a 152. In the men's 5,000-meter, Senior Mario Ruiz finished second with a time of 14:43. That was a personal best. And here's a freshman for you, Kelvin Sarfo, 12th with a time of 16:36. In the men's 1,500 meters, we'll call it a dash because it's a sprint anymore, when sophomore Anthony Perez finished third with a 3:59, a personal best. He broke the 4-minute barrier, Ben. That is a big accomplishment.
Yeah, even in the 1,500. And going back to the 100-meter, the difference between, what was it, third and 15th was 16/100ths of a second.
Yes.
The margin for error is crazy.
They're all like right there together at the line.
Yeah.
Freshman Bryson Meredith in the mile 1,500, if you want to call it, finished 8th with a 4:05. Senior Jacob Zimmerman was 11th with a 4:09. Another freshman, Elijah Marino, was 15th with a 4:14. A lot of freshmen, a lot of good distance runners at Sam Houston right now. Men's 110 hurdles, Junior Will Smith was 9th with a 14.18 time. Men's 4x100 relay. Remember all those sprinters we talked about being really close?
Yep.
Well, they finished second with a season best 39.31. That is smoking.
I think that's another school record.
I'm not sure. It said season best.
Because I think they set the program record the last time with like 39.33, if I remember correctly.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because I don't know. But hey, very well could be. I started reading the recap and then I just went to the results page and did it all myself. So I didn't actually finish reading the recap part to see if it was. So that's on me. Freshman Parker Brown in the pole vault finished third with a jump of 16 feet, 5.5 inches, or 5.02 meters. He cleared. That is a good height. Senior Dylan Truss finished tied for 12th with a 15 7.75 inch jump, or 4.77 meters. Sophomore Nathan Williams finished tied for 12th as well with the same jump, obviously. Men's shot put, Junior Mateo Ortiz was 9th with a throw of 54 feet, 16.46 meters. Men's hammer, Senior Nikos Fotanopoulos. That's what I'm going with. If I mess it up, I'm sorry. 4th with a throw of 194 feet, 5 inches, 59.26 meters. So then there was also an invitation. And I had to learn today. I learned something about track and field that I did not know, Ben, that when there's an invite, there's an invitational at this meet, it's specialized. That's a specialized meet that typically requires athletes to meet specific qualifying standards or receive an invitation to compete. In other words, it's like the best of the best at this meet.
Yep.
Women's 800-meter invite. Freshman Nora Ryan, 2nd with a personal best 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Crazy. Men's 800-meter invite. Junior Caleb Anthony, 1st with a time of 1:52. Senior Christian Rolak got 8th with a 1:54. 2 seconds behind between 1st and 8th, man. It is so close.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was a terrific meet. And, they're just kind of getting started with the spring season. There's a lot to be excited about for Sam Houston in the track this spring.
Yeah, there is. It feels like every week we talk about them, they just continue to move on that upward trajectory and pushing towards the conference championship here not too long. So it's good to see them continue to build that momentum going forward. and we'll see how much they can progress over this year. And it's exciting because so many of them are freshmen. They're just going to continue to get better.
That they will. Next up, Tom Tellez Alumni Invitational. Do they only invite alumni of Houston? Because that's who it's hosted by. That would be a weird track meet. It's at the Carl Lewis International Complex, April the 18th. We're going to move on to tennis. And Ben, the stat tracking for college tennis is Ion Court.
Yeah.
And I love that system. I'm a fan of Ion Court. And it had me into this match with just watching scores. Murfreesboro, Tennessee Conference USA Tournament. Sam Houston entered as the number 9 seed. So they got the number 8 seed, Western Kentucky. Now, what do we know about Western Kentucky? Probably not a lot, right?
Right now,
No,
we don't know a lot about Western
surprised he didn't play it.
But right now, we don't know a lot about Western Kentucky.
Because that's what you needed to do, right?
Yeah.
That's what we did. It came down. This was one of those thrilling conference championship matches. And it came down to 4-3 Sam Houston win. And the way they did this was not the easy way to do it in tennis. They lost the doubles point 2-1. The number 2 team of Aliyah Holman and Ella Fitcher won 6-2 to get that part, but Western Kentucky took the 1 and the 3. So then Bearcats needed to go the hard way. They had to win 4 of 6 singles. Now, Yuma Suba rolled to a straight set victory 1 and 3 at number 1 singles. To even the match at 1, Sarah Sadadinovich won in straight sets at number 3 singles 3-3 to give Sam Houston a 2-1 lead. Those were pretty quick and easy. Another one here, Isabel Garza lost in 3 sets at number 6 singles that tied the match at 2. Then we went to the number 2 singles. Anna Maria Kurtzsevili, I'm going to say, won in 3 sets. Give the Cats a 3-2 lead. They were 1 point from victory. Ella Fitcher fell, though, in straight sets at number 5 singles, and it didn't finish till a little bit late. I've just got a message we're having trouble streaming on Facebook, so if you're watching there, that would be hopefully we're on there. I can't really do much about it right now. Back to the tennis. Ella Fitcher fell in straight sets at the number 5 singles to set up a winner-takes-all point at the number 3. Number 3 singles is what it all came down to. And, Ben, that was a tight back-and-forth 3-set match the whole way. And in the 3rd set, it went to a tiebreaker. And even 7 points wasn't enough. But Javicki pulled it out. 6-2, 5-7, 7-6, 9-7 in the tiebreak to send the Cats onto the semifinals tomorrow, where they meet La Tech. And if you're watching live on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, you will see them placing the sticker on the bracket there as they play La Tech tomorrow in the quarterfinals at 10 a.m. The winner will move on, obviously, to the semifinals. 10 a.m. on Friday, and the championship match is set for 10 a.m. on Saturday.
This is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see him get that win.
That was the thing, right?
Yeah.
We said a win coming in this tournament would be great. That's what you said last week. And look, they did that, and they did it in thrilling fashion. And now look, they're going to be underdogs tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah.
But now it's just play. Just have fun and play now. They lost to La Tech 6-1 back in March in Huntsville. But listen, tomorrow it's a whole new day. And La Tech may be a little bit rusty since Sam Houston did play a day. I know that's supposed to be an advantage, but in tennis, a lot of times it isn't.
Right. Yeah, you got to continue to play.
Yeah, tennis plays every day. That's what they do. By the way, I want to get over here. General Sam watching on YouTube, thank you very much, is set a couple of comments. You questioned the track. The school record is 39.03. So they're really close on that one. And he said also Nora Ryan ran a 2:08 in the Invitational to get second. Yes, sir. Yeah, I saved Invitational for last because to me, those were the top results of the weekend for Sam Houston. Because if you're in that Invitational and you're placing first or second, you're doing some good things.
Yeah.
On to men's golf. And the news gets a little more sour here. Mossy Oak Collegiate, hosted by Mississippi State at the Mossy Oak Golf Course in West Point, Mississippi. And they finished tied for 17th of 19 teams with a plus 37. They started off pretty well, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first, some other notable teams they were behind. New Mexico State finished 9th, plus 20. UNT 13th, plus 26. Rice tied for 14th with UTEP, plus 27. Then you have Middle Tennessee tied for 14th as well with plus 27. La Tech tied with Sam Houston at 17th for plus 37. Round one, as a team, they were plus 4. It's a great start. Alex Malonga, he fired a 1 under 71. Jackson Heimer was a 1 over 73. Caleb Lumpkin, a 2 over 74. Grayson Petru, 2 over 74. That's what counted. That's a great start to the tournament.
Yeah.
But then it got worse. Round two, they were plus 10. Lumpkin fired an even par 72. Malonga, a 1 over 73. Those are okay. Petru struggled a bit, plus 476. And Heimer with a plus 577. Round three was horrendous. A plus 23 on round three. Malonga went to plus 476. Now, over the course, I would hope that you get better. They did not that on the third time around. I don't know if they're changing hole positions. I don't think they do that in college very often.
I don't know how much they do. And the weather could be a factor, maybe, but the other teams weren't scoring like that.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone had a little more struggles on day three, but nothing like what Sam Houston had day three. Lumpkin finished a 6 over 78. That had to count. Sebastian May, who did not have a very good tournament, was the final score, plus 578. Heimer, plus 779. Rough. Overall, Malonga finished tied for 33rd, plus 4. Lumpkin tied for 53rd with a plus 8. Heimer was plus 13, tied him for 73rd. Petru was plus 14, tied for 77th. And May finished plus 19, tied for 93rd. And Ben, next up is the Conference USA tournament, and they are not heading in there on a positive note.
No, well, and the inexperience shows. Alex Malonga was your one returner from last year. He's the only guy that I think his worst score was a plus 4, like you said, on the weekend or on the week. And that's not surprising. The one guy with experience showed up and got it done, but the freshmen and the underclassmen are just the consistency in golf is just, they're not there yet. I mean, you show flashes, but the key to being a great golfer, you can't just shoot one round in a tournament. You got to play throughout the whole week. So it's just a part of the learning curve with this team.
Yeah, look, the hardest thing to do in life, no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, no matter what your job is or anything, the hardest thing to do is sustain success.
Yep.
Because you get happy, right? Like it feels good when you go and fire a 1 over on the first day. You got to keep that same level of focus, and everything's got to be the same or even more on day 2 and then day 3. Those are the things they've got to learn right now.
Well, especially in college golf, where typically it's a 3-round format. And the first day you're playing 36 holes. So you're playing 36 on the first day, then you got to come back for the championship round 3. The mental toughness, it's tough. I mean, it's a different beast.
Playing 36 holes is tough in itself.
Yeah, and you don't have to carry your bag, but you have to push it and walk all 36.
I'd drag it. Next up is the Conference USA Championship. They're at the Texarkana Country Club. Why did they choose Texarkana?
They've got a really famous course there. I don't know if you watch Bryson DeChambeau or any of his YouTube stuff, but a lot of PGA players go there to prepare for the Masters because it's the most comparable course kind of in the country to Augusta. Maybe not, obviously the quality is not going to be the Masters, but the way the course plays and is set up is very similar, and it's one of the best public courses in the country, so I think that's why.
Damn. Good luck. April 27th through 30th to the men's golf team as they enter that. Now, men's basketball. We're going to talk some news this week, and we're going to start with CJ Beaumont. he announced, Ben, this week that he is transferring to Kennesaw State. That is where he is going. There was someone, as a teleprompter just went off, so let me find my notes here real quick. Catch up. After golf. Men's basketball. Okay. Little Cat on Twitter said, not too bad of a loss, if we're being honest. Probably wouldn't have seen much playing time if it wasn't for injuries. Okay, I'm going to ask you, Ben, live on air, is that copium or is that a valid point?
It's a little bit of both. This year, he definitely would not have played nearly as much as he did without the injuries. Is it a huge loss? I don't know if I would say it's a huge loss. He probably would have been your second or third guy off the bench next year. So your seventh or eighth guy in the rotation, which is a valuable piece, but it's not like he was the guy you were counting on to go score 16, 17 points a night. So it's definitely a loss, and he's definitely a guy with a lot of upside because I think I mentioned last week, he's only been playing basketball for about 4 years now. So he's got a lot of upside and a lot of potential. But this isn't, like a groundbreaking thing for next year's roster that he isn't there. He would have been a part of it for sure, but it doesn't change a whole lot for you going into next year.
Does this say anything about Sam Houston with him staying within conference? Or is it just say that Sam Houston was going to be deeper and he wanted more playing time?
Yeah, I don't think it says a ton. Kennesaw State also picked up the starting point guard from Jack State, so they just might have liked some of the guys they played against. And in this day and age, at Kennesaw State, you might be getting a little more money to go be the seventh or eighth guy on a roster compared to Sam Houston. I mean,
they did come off the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and so I don't see anything crazy with it. I thought he might have gone back to Florida. To be closer to home, maybe like a Florida Gulf Coast or an FIU, maybe like an FAU, maybe probably would have been lower down on the bench there. But I thought he might have gone back to Florida. It was a little surprising, but Kennesaw probably liked what they saw the couple times they played him. Maybe they have a role for him, and we'll see where it goes. It doesn't change too much about next year's roster for me.
To be completely fair, Georgia is closer to Florida than Texas.
Yeah, but I mean,
he did move closer, but not as close as what you were expecting him to move.
Yeah, Miami to Atlanta, it's closer, but it's still not close.
That is true as well. And so other men's basketball news, and this one I was happy to see. Cashy Nat announced that he is committed to Oklahoma State. Good for him, Ben.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. Had a good game against Oklahoma State earlier this year. I think he had 9 points, 2 or 3 blocks, 6 or 7 rebounds. So they got to look at him then.
You there? Ben may have paused. Hopefully it's not my computer system. Well, this is going to be a weird show without Ben. Let's see if he comes back if I go to group stage. No, he is still paused. Okay, well, we will continue on until Ben joins us. I want to give it a little bit of time here because we're going to talk football. But before we talk football, we're going to get a word in from our sponsor at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing and General Contracting is your choice for integrity work in the Texas Hill Country. Taylor Andrus and crew provide experienced quality roofing services with a mission of roofing with faith, serving with integrity, and sheltering homes in the spirit of stewardship. Don't just take our word for it. Here's what satisfied customer Pamela Allen had to say about Eternal Roofing. They did a great job on our patio roof, came out quick for a quote. The quote was very reasonable, and they started and finished work well and quickly. Not a bad thing to say about Eternal Roofing. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email them taylor@eternalroofingtx.com.
Well, I have good news. It's not just me anymore. We have Ben is back. And just for kind of a little technical update, since we've had plenty of issues today, thankfully the teleprompter caught back up to where I was. I'll have to add him into when we go to some of these videos now, but I'm glad to have you back because we're talking football now. And this is one where we got some things to talk about, some things to ask. We're going to start with the press box. The press box, Sam Houston posted a video, kind of an inside. Was there anything you gleaned from that video?
This video is probably 6 to 8 weeks old. And I knew it was just based on some of the people that were in there when I knew they were in there last. So not a ton. I mean, just some of the pictures you see rolling out of Bowers from people that are there. I think it's on track. So I wouldn't really take too much from this because this is from probably almost 2 months ago at this point.
You eased my concerns there because when I saw this, I was like, if it's at this stage, I don't know if it's going to be ready for the season.
Yeah, no, it is probably 6 to 8 weeks ahead of that video.
Okay, that's really good news. Now, on to what we really want to talk about with football, and that is Louisiana Tech and Conference USA have settled their drama. Now, I'm going to put a poll question up here, and you guys are welcome to try to answer this. I don't know exactly how you answer it, and there's this. Let's go stage placement up there so it's not covering. Okay. So Front Office Sports reported that Louisiana Tech will pay a Conference USA record fee to exit, join the Sun Belt Conference. UTEP paid $8 million to leave and join the Mountain West, and after all the legal battles, La Tech's going to pay more.
We don't know how much more, but it's going to be more.
We don't know how much more, but Ben, there's a part of me that's a little sad to see La Tech go because they're so easy to make fun of. They give me so much fodder. And this is one of those. Like, why are you going to go to a court battle if you're going to end up paying more than UTEP paid? That was the whole point of the battle.
Well, I think the reason it happened is because they made the move after that July 1st deadline from the year before. And so to get out, they had to pay more because they were after that exit date. So they had to pay, I think it was 2 years worth of reparations for the grant of rights stuff instead of one. And so I think that's why it ended up being more. That's my understanding of it.
I get you. Before we move on any further on this one, General Sam, any word on if spring game will be open?
It should be. That's the plan. They haven't marketed it, but from what I was told before spring ball started, it would be open. But that was also spring ball's 2.5, 3 weeks in, and from what I heard was 2 weeks before that. And the stadium stuff at that time said that they could. Obviously, that might not be the case. You don't know what construction site and stuff looks like. But yeah, the spring game was supposed to be open. We haven't seen anything on it yet. So we'll see.
Okay, posted a poll question up here. So I'm going to ask you, Ben, and get your thoughts. Did Conference USA get stronger with the departures of UTEP and La Tech?
I would say no, but it's not like a hard no because I think you did make some good additions in Missouri State and Delaware to the conference, which I think has kind of eased it. But you do lose a travel partner with New Mexico State. And then Louisiana Tech is a program that is traditionally pretty good in most sports. I mean, football kind of had a nice year finally. Basketball is always competitive. Baseball is always good. It's a regional team for Sam Houston, Missouri State, kind of Middle Tennessee, stuff like that. So I would say overall, it's not the best. So I would say no, but it's not like a detrimental thing to the league, especially because you had two pretty good additions in Missouri State and Delaware.
I'm going to say yes. And the reason being is UTEP. They're bad. They're so bad. And they're not getting better anytime soon. It's always like, oh, UTEP could be really great. Sounds like what people say about Midwestern State now, right? Oh, UTEP could be great. Well, when? When are they going to do it? And we it's promise after promise after WWE football coach after WWE football coach. I mean, at some point, you just got to realize that they are not going to get better anytime soon.
Well, they don't really have that kind of foundational sport either. Like they're not incredibly dominant. Like Vanderbilt in the SEC, they always had baseball at least. UTEP,
Yeah.
I mean, they had a really good women's volleyball team this last year, but that doesn't necessarily move the needle for you within a conference like a baseball, a football, or a basketball could.
No, I agree. And look, La Tech is a little bit better. I mean, they're more competitive anyway, as far as that goes. And so they've kind of fit little regionally, although I guess to them, they fit a little bit better with a little more regional alliances in the Sun Belt Conference. But they did fit the footprint of Conference USA pretty well. But honestly, the biggest reason I'm sad to see them go is because, gosh, do they provide fodder all the time.
Yeah.
Always.
No, I know. And speaking of money, I forgot to add this in the last segment, the farm or whatever we're calling it now, around the farm.
Yes, across the farm.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to release this, but Bobby Williams had a press conference today that was only for a very select few people, and he was making his $100,000 donation to the program and talking about where it'll go to and stuff like that. So I don't know what kind of information we'll get on that, but money related, and we'll see where it goes. So just wanted to throw that out there in case people see it come up here in the next few days.
Awesome. If you're enjoying the show, help us grow by rating, reviewing March to the Pod on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe to our Substack page at marchtothepod.substack.com, march2thepod.substack.com, and on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube by searching for @MarchToThePod. As always, we're proud to be part of the Conference USA podcast roundtable with shows covering all 12 Conference USA programs. We're gonna talk some baseball when we come back because I'm not ending the show on bad news today. So when we will talk some baseball and get into those frustrations right after we hear another word from our friends at Eternal Roofing.
Eternal Roofing only uses the finest materials in the roofing business while providing an exceptional warranty. Why do they use CertainTeed products? Because they complement any appearance, provide exceptional and reliable strength, and are known for their enduring performance. Here's what Shane Sosa had to say about Eternal Roofing. Taylor and his team are amongst the highest level of professionals. They care about their customers and go above and beyond just doing the job. Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539 or email Taylor at eternalroofingtx.com.
Once again, big thank you to our friends over at Eternal Roofing, and now we're turning to baseball.
Well,
Yes,
I was going to
got
say
some-
one more thing on the Louisiana Tech thing.
Yeah.
I saw someone post today that Sam Houston's football schedule, it's official now. Like now that Louisiana Tech is gone, the schedule we have now is going to look nothing like the one that's finished. Louisiana Tech's not on it, but every school that had Louisiana Tech on their schedule has now got to fill it with someone else, which then you're going to have to backfill another game somewhere. So it's going to look absolutely nothing like it does right now. It is nowhere near official.
I think they had to. They have to have a second one ready to go, right? Like it's got to come out soon.
But I agree. But and I would think you would agree too. It's going to look nothing like this one.
Oh no, it'll be totally different because they've got to rearrange everything, like you said. Moving on to baseball, Dallas Baptist visited last weekend, and game one was one that it was a rough matchup. They took a 6-4 loss. Ryan Peterson, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, no walks, 9 strikeouts. He had 64 strikes and 94 pitches, 68.1% strikes. That's incredible. That's incredibly filling up the zone. And wait till you get to softball. You'll hear an even better stat. Jarrett Curtis was 4 for 5. Cade Corcoran 0 for 3, 2 runs, an RBI, 2 doubles. Ty Marthel-Johnny 1 for 2, a run, 2 RBIs, and a walk. Game 2, we're going to talk about briefly. They lost 14-3. Tyler Ryden had a rough outing, 4 innings, 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. The bullpen of Connor Mondy, Zach Allered, and Mason Murphy. didn't fare much better. 3 innings, 6 hits, 8 runs, 8 earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts combined. And here's what's really concerning about those 3 bullpen arms combined. They threw 52 of 92 pitches for strikes. That's only 56.5%. That doesn't even play at high school level.
No, not at all. And that's why you saw 14 runs be put up.
Exactly. Nathan Fink was 2 for 3, a run, 2 RBIs. Listen, you have those days, right? Jace Martinez, 2 for 2 of the walk. You have those games that are just bad games, and you got to turn it around and respond. And respond they did. Sam Houston, the team responded game 3. But that was one you said last weekend they have to get one of these.
Yeah.
They had to get one of these. The game 3 was the one they had in their pocket until they lost it 5-4. Tate Hickman was outstanding. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. I'm sorry?
I was just going to say 6 innings of really good ball.
Yeah, 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. 63 of 98 pitches were strikes. That's 64.3%. That is really good. When he left, Sam Houston was winning 4-1. Noah Kendrick came in through 2 innings, allowed 1 run on 3 hits. That's not bad. That's not a bad day's work. Problem is they led 4-2 after 8, and then it just went no help from the defense for Zach Johnson. He pitched the final 2 innings, gave up 3 runs. 2 of those were earned. But at the end of the day, Ben, that was a heartbreaking, crushing loss of a game that you just had to have right now.
Yeah, well, and including the UTRGV one, which I'm sure we'll hit on for a second, I think I counted 5 of the 10 losses on this 10-game losing streak. You've been within 1 run or ahead going into the 9th inning, and so just have not been able to find ways to finish these games.
Led 5-4 last night, heading to the 9th before they lost 8-5 in 10 innings. Noah Kendrick pitched the 10th, and it didn't go as well this time for him. 3 runs, all earned, 2 hits, a walk on the 3rd of an inning. Corcoran was 1 for 5, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. Martinez 2 for 4 with a walk. Caleb Cotton 1 for 2, 3 walks. Great thing about baseball, and I tell my team this quite often this year, is that there's another game pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of Caleb Cotton, they've moved him down in the lineup. He's had some good ABs the last few days, and Nathan Fink played for the first time in almost a month this last week and had a really good series. Jarrett Curtis, his average is up around 350. I mean, there's some signs with the offense. They just have not been able to score with runners on base and runners in scoring position. That's been their big issue.
And I know we'll get into some of this in the end of year review and stuff, but I just don't see, like, if you're struggling, sometimes you got to play a little small ball and try to make things happen.
Yeah.
I get that you don't want to do that all the time. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of doing it all the time. But if you know that you're struggling to score runs, if you have a team that all year is struggling to score runs and produce, get people moving, get things moving, make them make plays, because you know what? There's going to be a good number of plays they're not able to make. That's just how it is in baseball. There's just a number of plays the defense is not able to make. They're at Rice tonight, 6:35 p.m. Old friend David Pierce. They will see him again. And this weekend, they're at New Mexico State Friday through Sunday. They host Baylor 6 p.m. next Tuesday. Right now, they sit 14-22 overall, 4-11 in Conference USA. But here's the thing. The next 3 series are against teams below 500 in conference.
Yeah, you played kind of the juggernauts in WKU, not WKU, but Jack State, DBU, WKU kind of. And so now you've got to find a way to find some wins against the teams you should beat. You desperately need them.
So here's another question, poll question. I still don't know how you vote on it. Maybe I should figure that out. Those 3 they play, by the way, are New Mexico State, Middle Tennessee, and Delaware. Will the Cats baseball turn its season around during these next 3 Conference USA series?
What do we define by turning it around? Like a winning record, maybe like a 5-4 record in those 9 games?
I mean, that would have to be acceptable, right?
Yeah, I personally don't. Until they can find ways to close out games and prove they can do it, I'm going to say no.
Well, here is what Jay Sirianni had to say after last night's game against UTRGV, and I want to get into this a little bit as
It wasn't the night you were envisioning, but a really good UTRGV team, and then y'all fought with them until the very end. Just some thoughts on this one.
Well, I told the guys before the game, I mean, the challenge for us right now is the weekend, right? It's all about getting better for the weekend. And, you know, I thought there were some positives. I thought Gabe got out. He got punched in the nose pretty quick, followed it up with a couple of punch-outs. Johnny did what Johnny's been doing, and then it was good to get Colin back on the mound and throw the ball pretty well. Towards the end, we got a little jinx going here. We're just going to have to figure out who we think we can handle at the back end of the game. And then offensively, getting Cade Corcoran to run one out of here, that was big. And like I said, we just come up short.
Y'all shuffled the lineup a little bit tonight. Cotty had a good night in the 5 spot tonight. Just still can't seem to get the runs across the plate. How do you have to continue to tell your guys, like, hey, just got to keep going?
Well, it's just kind of it's baseball, I mean, whether it's you throwing that bat away or you got to tip your hat to a good arm or approach, or you hit one on the screws like Franny did all day Saturday and Sunday and just had nothing to show for it. So baseball's evil. I mean, it's a mean game, but it's going to bring us back tomorrow. We got to go down the ice and see what happens down there.
We talked about the box. Brando Mania starting to show out. He played really good.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there. That noise in the background is interesting. I believe it's caught up. You with me? Yeah, you're still with me there. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first part of that was the part that I went, man, look, like, to tell the guys that it's all about getting better for the weekend right now. Yes, I get it. You're not going to get in that large bit. But that's your TRGV. Aren't you expected to still win that game? Yeah,
and you'll take any sort of win to get off the schneid you're on right now, too. So you're playing for every game.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the, shucks, that's baseball, right? Like, I mean, we got another one. No, at some point I don't want necessarily a Tony Vitello, right? But you need somebody with a little more fire sometimes.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure that will be another topic that we broach during the offseason as we look in review. Quickly, and I don't think I put that up here, and I should have, but the Conference USA tournament bracket came out, and they're doing pool play.
Interesting.
Three different pools. You play one game each day. Why is it going to save arms? You think maybe make it a little more competitive? That's the only reason I could see. You with me, Ben? Okay. Well, we lost Ben again. The Conference USA tournament bracket. We will talk more about that in the coming days. In the meantime, we're going to get our final word in from our sponsor at Eternal Roofing. And when we return, we're talking good news. We're going to talk about the softball team.
Eternal Roofing is locally owned and dedicated to giving back to the community by supporting local organizations and charities. They are also the winner of Next Door's Neighborhood Faves for 2 consecutive years. And as you know, if you've listened to this podcast, Eternal Roofing is your choice for Christmas lights. They provide premium lights tailored to fit your home, season-long maintenance, and hassle-free removal. Kyle Tatum said, "They're very professional and great quality, on time and clean, and really made me feel like they cared for me and my home." Give Eternal Roofing a call today at area code 830-251-5673 or area code 936-215-8539, or you can email taylor@eternalroofingtx.com. Once again, a big thank you to our friends over at Eternal Roofing. As we wait for Ben, he will rejoin us here shortly. We're going to go ahead and move on. In fact, Ben is back, and we're going to go ahead and get into softball now. We'll have more time to talk about the Conference USA tournament as it goes along, but let's talk some good news, and it's this softball team. They hosted Missouri State last weekend. They took game 1 5-0. I'm not going to show any more video right now. Things are kind of messed up technically today, so
I think less is better at this moment for that instead of showing you some of these softball highlights. On the game Friday, Tiffany Sanchez. My goodness. Question for you after you hear about what she did, not just this performance, but all on Sunday as well. 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs, a shutout, no walks, 9 strikeouts, 95 pitches. Ben, 70 of them were strikes.
Yeah.
73.7% strike. She says, I'm going to throw it in the zone. I dare you to hit the ball. She is doing incredible work. So my question is, should she be conference pitcher of the year right now?
I'd have to take a look around the league. I might lean no, just because there's been some inconsistent outings, but first team all conference, it has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be at least first team all conference. She had the no-hitter, multiple conference player of the week or pitcher of the week honors, did what she did this week. Yeah, I mean, if she's not player or pitcher of the year, she's definitely first team all conference.
No doubt. Veronica Harrison was outstanding Friday as well. Talk about another all-conference selection in the making. 2 for 2, a run, 2 RBIs, a walk, and a double and a homer. That'll play.
She is like a true 3-outcome kind of player. It's like double homer, walk, maybe strikeout kind of thing.
It's pretty much all you get from her, right?
Yeah.
Bella Perez was 2 for 3, another potential all-conference player there. Here's one for you. Jordan Peno hit a solo home run. That was good to see.
Yeah, she has continued to play really well after the injury last year, missed all of last season. And then while we're talking about superlatives, I mean, Sophia Lundstrom has to be up there for freshman of the year this year. Pulling up the stats right now, but I think the on-base percentage is up over 400. She's batting at the top of the order for one of the top teams in the league. So, I mean, Sophia Lundstrom batting 406 with a 470 on-base percentage, 523 slugs, so the OPS is right around 1,000. I mean, for a true freshman, that's incredibly impressive.
She's getting on base almost 50% of the time.
Yeah, at the top of your order too, which is just huge. When you have
you do it at any part of the order, that's insane.
Yeah, when you've got Bella Perez, Veronica Harrison behind you.
Yeah. Saturday was a struggle. They lost 9-1. Abigail Young, she's coming back off injury. She struggled some, gave up 5 runs, all earned, 8 hits in 3 2/3 innings. Mackenzie Jenkins relieved Abigail Young and allowed 4 runs, 2 earned on 4 hits in her 1 inning of pitch. Again, Bella Perez 1 for 2 with an RBI. The thing about that one is I don't think I'm too concerned about Abigail Young right now, because she's still got to kind of get into that midseason shape, in my opinion.
Yeah, and she's flashed some really good stuff too. I think it was maybe last weekend at WKU, even though it wasn't a very good week. I think she threw 5 innings of one run ball in relief. So she's flashed, and I think she has it. It's just got to be more consistent, and that ramp up period takes time, especially. Pitchers take a lot of time to ramp up into the season, and to have to do it mid-year is tough. And so I think if she's performing like she typically does at the conference tournament, that's all you can ask for.
That'll be right about when she hits that midseason form too.
Yeah. So I think she'll be okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not concerned about her long-term. Those games happen too, right? Again, those
and
games do happen.
You don't need her to be your number 1 anymore either.
No, the pressure's not on her, right? And now that you've got pretty much two that can be aces, that sets you up really well when you get into a conference tournament time.
A lot of depth that you can rely on. You don't have to be the person to go out there and throw a complete game every game.
It's very important. Game 3 was a bounce back. They won 9-1 to take the series. Kendall Daniel got the win, 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. It was earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts. That's very efficient. And guess what? Tiffany Sanchez came in for the save. 2 innings pitched, allowed nothing. No walks, no hits, no runs. Didn't even have a strikeout. It was 2 innings and zeros.
Yeah, it was, and that's why she earned Pitcher of the Week honors, the shutout, and then closing the door on Sunday.
9 innings, a win, and a save. She got Conference USA Pitcher of the Week for the second time this season, and the second time about last 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, I think the no-hitter was only about a month or so ago, and Softball, but minus that one series, continues to roll. I think the one, I guess you could call it criticism, I guess I have is, I mean, they've won every series but one, and it feels like they dominate 2 games and they just kind of fall asleep in one of them, you know? And so it'd be nice to kind of have them put together a dominant 3-game series. And so in the conference tournament, thankfully, it's double elimination. But you just want to see that focus there every game, because we saw it even this series. Nice performance in game 1. Game 2 was not competitive, handled your business in game 3. You just kind of want to see it across those 3 games.
The toughest thing to do is be consistent, win consistently. It just is. General Sam says currently Lundstrom's batting average, if the season ended today, would be 3rd all time in a single season for Sam Houston. And Apke coming back possibly this weekend or next. That's also big.
She was on a similar timeline to Abigail Young. So she got hurt probably 2 or 3 weeks or so after Abigail Young did. They both had those ankle injuries. And so Young's been back for, I think, going on 3 weeks now. So, yeah, it's probably about a week or 2 away for Amy Apke.
Well, now softball has a stretch here that's going to be interesting. 7-game road trip coming up, beginning Friday through Sunday at La Tech. And then they're at Houston at 6 p.m. Tuesday. And then, again, they continue on the road for a couple more series before they return home for the final series before the Conference USA Tournament. And that's when they're playing the best team in the conference, too, is Jack State. They're 27-19 overall, 11-7 in conference. They're tied for 4th with Delaware and New Mexico State. This 7-game road trip is going to tell us a whole lot about how the postseason is going to go, I believe, for this softball team.
Yeah, because it's going to determine a lot of seeding. Games you probably should win. Louisiana Tech is 8-10. FIU is 10-8. So teams that are just below you, games you should probably win. I think if you could go 4-2, 5-1, you would, I don't know if guarantee is the right word, but you're guaranteed almost a top 4 seed, maybe even a top 3 seed. So we'll see what happens. But I do agree. These next couple of weeks, really the next 2 weeks, will determine what the conference tournament seeding and outlook is like.
And it's all on the road.
Yeah. Well, thankfully they had this open week. They didn't have a midweek this week.
That will help. But, there's 2 things that can happen. You can have a really good trip and get some good team bonding, or you could go the other way.
Yeah. So we'll see. And I think hopefully they're peaking at the right time. Abigail Young getting right. Amy Abke, probably a week or 2 away, should be ready to some degree before the conference tournament. So, I mean, we said at the beginning of the year they wanted to compete for championships. They're still pretty much in that mix, and it'll be a big couple weeks to finish.
It is going to be fun to watch, and we'll be here to tell you all about it. That's a wrap for this extremely technologically challenged episode of March to the Pod, presented by Eternal Roofing. Thank you so much to everyone watching, listening, whether you are finding us on your favorite podcast platform or Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube, and hopefully it's on Facebook. Technological challenges galore today, but we made it through. We fought on. We fought through it. We can't be perfect every time, Ben.
Sustained success. It's tough.
It is. It's the toughest thing to do. We'll be back hopefully next week with another episode of March to the Pod, presented by Eternal Roofing. Until then, stay safe. Ben, take us home.
Yeah, eat 'em up, Cats, and let's please get a baseball win tonight at Rice.
If there's a God in heaven.